Today we are going to be talking all about appliques, and this is actually going to be my first time trying one, so wish me luck. So I'm just starting up the machine, and on your right side of the machine is going to be the port for your USB drive, because you will need to download a file to create a applique. Now select the bottom right button to activate your USB files, and for me it's going to be this file right here. I downloaded everything that came with this file, when in actuality, the only one I can use is the one that's not grayed out, so I need to go back through and delete all that junk off my USB drive. Now I'm just changing the size by clicking the size button and making it a little bit smaller. Pressing OK, and then press End Edit, and then Embroidery once you have it the way that you want. So for a proper applique file, you are going to see 3 different colors for 3 different steps. Whenever you're trying out a new file, I recommend using a test piece of fabric. So this one already has my stabilizer on it because I used it to create this little bear that says Olivia for a test. So I'm just using that same one, but yes, I am using some cutaway stabilizer and a piece of flannel. So I'm just putting it into my hoop, screwing it, making it tighter so it doesn't pop out. Now it is time to head over to our machine to do the first step. So this layer is going to be the tracing layer. This is just so you know exactly where to place your applique fabric that you want to use. Since this is telling you where your fabric is going to go, you need to use a color that's going to be bright or contrasting to your bottom color. So I'm using a bright orange, so there's no mistaking where the fabric needs to hit to make sure you have a big enough piece for your applique. Depending on what color you're using for your applique, you might want to cut your tack down stitch so it doesn't show through. So since I'm using a white piece of fabric, I didn't want this bright orange thread to be seen through it. Just depends how sheer your applique fabric is though. So I'm just placing my applique fabric right on top there. It's just going to float there, and the next step is going to be your tack down stitch. For this step, I recommend using a color that's either the same as the one that you want for your finished edges or the same color as the applique itself. The finishing stitch should cover it, but just in case, I would just steer clear of anything crazy for this tack down stitch. Just make it simple on yourself. So for mine, I am using a white thread. Once the machine is done, go ahead and lift up your presser foot, press this little side button to release your hoop, and you're going to grab a pair of scissors to cut around the tack down stitch. So when I first started cutting, I used my fabric scissors, which are large scissors, but they do not get close enough, so they're good for cutting fabric, but they're not good for appliques because you're not going to get close enough to the stitching, and you're going to be able to see it through the finishing stitch. So definitely grab those scissors that came with your embroidery machine, or grab some curved scissors from your fabric store to get in closer so you avoid having a messy end result. Another thing to consider is you do not want to cut your base fabric, so definitely go slow and be careful, because if you do, you will have to start all over. You've got it cut out as close as you possibly can. Go ahead and place it back on your machine. And this is the very last stitch, so make sure it's whatever color you want your applique to have stitched around it. So for me, I'm using a lavender. As you can see on the right hand side of my star, One of the points did not get covered all the way with this stitch, but that's okay. I am still very proud of the way that it turned out for my very first applique, and that is why I definitely recommend using your first time on a piece of scrap fabric rather than ruining a shirt or whatever you wanted to embroider it on. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content from me, and leave me a comment down below if you have any other recommendations, because this was a requested video, so I do listen to you guys' comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!